Protein powders are popular for a good reason. They are convenient, they are affordable, they are tasty, and in most cases, they are well digested, they are well absorbed, and they're also rich in essential amino acids, which are vital for gaining muscle and strength. Protein powders also make it easy to follow a high protein diet, which is also vital for maximizing muscle and strength gain, because if you eat just a few servings of food protein per day supplemented with a few servings of protein powder per day, you can eat as much protein as you need fairly easily. Now, while protein powder isn't harmful per se, is eating too much harmful? And if so, how much is too much? Well, according to some people, if you eat too much protein powder every day, you are asking for all kinds of problems ranging from digestive issues to nutrient deficiencies to even something as extreme as kidney damage. On the other hand, many people say that's nonsense. They say that protein powder is just dried food and doesn't fundamentally affect the body any differently than other forms of protein like chicken, beef, eggs, or milk. Who is right? Well, I am Mike Matthews from Legion Athletics, and here is the long story short. There's nothing wrong with drinking a couple protein shakes per day. However, I do not recommend that you get the majority of your daily protein from powders, and I'm going to explain why. First, let's quickly touch on why you should even consider supplementing with protein powder. While there's nothing inherently better about the protein that you could get from a powder versus food from the perspective of gaining muscle or strength or just maintaining your health, a protein powder is very convenient and it makes following a high protein diet easier. And specifically, I'm talking about eating anywhere from 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight per day, which is what you need to maximize muscle and strength gain. A number of studies, including meta-analyses and literature reviews, have established this beyond the shadow of a doubt at this point. The weight of the evidence is very clear. Now, a slight exception to that is in the case of people who are very overweight or obese, in which case that might have them eating a lot more protein than is necessary. And for those people, I recommend setting protein intake somewhere around 30 to 40% of their daily calories. Now, the first thing you need to understand about protein powders is your body processes them in the same way that it processes the protein contained in beef, peas, broccoli, or anything else. So the idea that protein powders are somehow uniquely harmful to the body is pure fiction. That said, there have been a number of scandals over the last couple of years that have given many people pause, like the Consumer Reports revelation that a number of popular brands of protein powder, including BSN, Muscle Milk, Muscle Tech, and GNC, contained high levels of arsenic, cadmium, lead, and mercury. Now, theoretically, if you were to eat enough of those protein powders every day, those heavy metals could accumulate in your body and could increase the risk of kidney damage and other health problems. And while the absolute risk of that may have been overstated by sensationalist media sources, it does highlight an important reality when it comes to supplementation. And that is that when you take supplements, you are putting your health and well-being in the hands of the company that you are buying products from. And you often don't really know what you're getting and what you're ingesting. And that's why before you buy supplements from any company, including mine, you should dig in and you should find out how long the company has been around for. You should look into their reputation online. You should see if they've been caught lying or cheating in the past, because if they've done it before, they will do it again. You should look into who creates the formulations for these companies and what the backgrounds of these people are. And can you even find out? Often you can't. Often there is no scientific advisory board like I have, comprised of experts, scientists, credible authorities who create these products. Often the formulations are just supplied by manufacturers. They're just off the shelf, mediocre or worse products that are cheap to produce and allow for high margins. You should also look into who owns the company, who runs it, what are they all about? Go check out their social media. Are they into just flaunting their trinkets? Are they douchebags? If so, not good signs. You should also look into what is in the products, ingredient by ingredient. Why are those ingredients included? Are they included at proper dosages, backed up by peer-reviewed, well-designed, well-executed research, or are they just chosen at random? And they are often chosen at random. Anyway, my point with that tangent is that protein powder is not inherently unhealthy, but you don't always know what you're getting. If you are getting a protein powder from a shady company who doesn't care about your health, doesn't care about what's in the product, only cares about the numbers, then yes, it can be unhealthy. For example, I get emailed several times per week from Chinese suppliers of protein powder that could cut my costs in half, but would also mean that I have to look the other way in terms of quality, because these suppliers are notorious for selling low quality, tainted protein powders. But I'm just not willing to do that, so I pay for very expensive protein that comes out of Ireland, the stuff that I myself would want and that I do use every day. And does that mean I make less money? Yes, it does, but I would rather make less money than harm people. Ooh, what a concept. Okay, so now let's get to the core question here, which is how much protein powder is too much? Well, as with anything, if you take supplementation too far, there are negative side effects. And in the case of protein supplementation, if you take it too far, the common negative side effects are nutritional deficiencies and gastrointestinal distress. So to the first point, the big advantage of protein powders is obviously that they are very high in protein and low in carbs and low in fat. They're just mostly protein. And while that is great for your macros, what many people don't necessarily realize is that food sources of protein are also rich sources of nutrition. For example, eggs are one of the more nutrient-dense foods you can eat. Legumes are chock full of prebiotic fiber and minerals, and meat contains a number of beneficial compounds like carnitine, CoQ10, iron, creatine, all of which are not present in protein powder. And so what that means is if you are getting all or most of your protein every day from powders, so let's say somewhere around 30 to 40% of your total calories are coming from powders, and if the rest of your calories are not very nutrient dense, you are likely to develop some nutritional holes or gaps or deficiencies over time. Now, to the other point of GI distress, if you eat too much protein powder in one sitting, you are likely to experience gas, bloating, and cramping. And the reason for this is protein powders are digested faster than foods. And so what can happen is when you chug down a bunch of protein powder, some of the protein molecules can make their way into the large intestine, undigested or only partially digested, and that results in GI issues. And this problem is rather unique to protein powder because of how easy it is to eat. Foods that require chewing are harder to overconsume than something you just drink. If you think about the process of eating a couple chicken breasts versus drinking a couple chicken breasts of protein, the first one might take a couple minutes, the latter takes a couple seconds, then you see that protein powder can place a very large and immediate demand on your digestive system. So my recommendation then is to get no more than 20% of your daily calories from protein powders, which means that yes, you're going to have to eat some of your protein as well. That's kind of the point. And I also recommend not having more than maybe 40 or 50 grams of protein from a powder in one sitting. Well, I hope you found this video helpful. And if you did, please do give it a like and drop a comment down below letting me know what you thought. And if you want to be notified when my next video goes live, just click the big red subscribe button over there and then click the bell, and YouTube will ping you when my next upload goes live. All right, I hope to see you then.